When a narcissist doesn't care about you, they do this. There's a moment in every toxic relationship where the silence becomes louder than the words ever were. You begin to feel it not just in what's said, but in what's missing. The warmth disappears. The concern vanishes. There's a shift you can't always explain, but your nervous system feels it before your mind catches up. The person you once believed cared for you has gone cold. Not just emotionally unavailable, but emotionally indifferent. And if you've ever dealt with a narcissist, you know this moment all too well. Because when a narcissist no longer cares, they don't just distance themselves, they perform a kind of emotional erasure. They stop responding to your vulnerability. They look through your pain. They treat your existence like background noise, as if everything you once shared is now forgettable. And what's worse, they may even act as though you're the one who changed. It's a chilling transformation, and it leaves many survivors wondering, did they ever care at all? Was any of it real? How could someone flip the switch so fast, with no remorse? In this video, we're going to unpack the psychological truth behind that moment when a narcissist no longer cares, and they show it in ways that are more cruel than most people can imagine. We'll explore the subtle and overt signs that a narcissist has emotionally detached, why their indifference is actually a reflection of their inner emptiness, not your worth, the behaviors they display to punish you for no longer being useful, and most importantly, how to reclaim your sense of reality when they rewrite the narrative. Because understanding what a narcissist does when they no longer care isn't just about decoding their behavior. It's about healing from the internalized shame they try to leave behind. It's about recognizing that their coldness is not a commentary on your value. It's a symptom of their disorder. So stay with me. This won't just be educational. It will be liberating. Because once you understand how narcissists behave when their care runs out, you'll stop trying to find meaning in the silence. You'll stop waiting for closure they'll never offer. And you'll begin to see the truth, not just about them, but about yourself. Because you didn't deserve the withdrawal. You didn't deserve the indifference. You didn't deserve the cruelty masked as calm. And today, we're going to say that out loud together. Let's begin. To grasp what happens when a narcissist no longer cares, we have to start by understanding what narcissistic care actually is. Because it's not the same as genuine emotional connection. A narcissist version of caring is often transactional. It's conditional. It's tied directly to how useful you are in maintaining their sense of superiority, security, and control. So long as you're reflecting back the version of themselves they want to see, so long as you're admiring them, soothing them, forgiving them, or revolving your emotional life around their moods, they appear engaged, attentive, even, but it's a performance. And like all performances, it ends the moment the audience no longer applauds. The moment you stop feeding their ego, the care dissolves. This withdrawal can happen slowly through passive aggression, disinterest, stonewalling, or it can happen suddenly with ghosting, devaluation, or public humiliation. Either way, it feels like emotional whiplash. You'll notice conversations grow one-sided. They stop asking how you're doing, or worse, they ask, but don't wait for the answer. Your pain is minimized. Your needs become burdens. They might start mocking your sensitivity. They act bored when you speak. And the empathy they once mimicked so well is suddenly gone. What you're witnessing is what psychologists call empathic failure, the complete refusal to respond to another person's emotions with even basic human concern. And for narcissists, this failure isn't accidental. It's intentional. It's a control tactic. Because when a narcissist doesn't care anymore, they want you to feel it. They want you to feel small, invisible, discarded. They want your nervous system to panic. They want you to chase them emotionally, to try harder, give more, explain your worth, beg for scraps of connection they themselves destroyed. It's psychological warfare in slow motion. But here's what many people don't realize. When a narcissist does this, it's not because you failed. It's because your usefulness to them diminished. And in their world, love is not unconditional. It's a resource, a supply. And once they've extracted what they needed, attention, admiration, sex, loyalty, validation, they lose interest in maintaining the illusion of intimacy. That's why the narcissist version of not caring looks so jarring. It's not just coldness, it's calculated withdrawal. It's withholding to regain power. So what do they actually do when they no longer care? They stop pretending to be interested in your inner world. They roll their eyes at your emotions. They mock your concerns or accuse you of being too dramatic. They flirt openly with others to provoke jealousy. They become obsessed with appearing happy without you. They bait you into arguments and then feign exhaustion. They stop initiating contact, but explode if you don't respond quickly. They use your vulnerability as ammunition. They start rewriting the story of your relationship, painting you as unstable, clingy, or toxic. And here's the twist. They may even act like the victim. They might say, "I tried so hard with you," or "You were never satisfied," or "You made me this way." This is projection. This is classic gaslighting. Because what they're really saying is, "I can no longer extract what I need from you, so I'm going to punish you for having needs of your own." It's dehumanizing. It's painful. And it leaves you questioning everything, especially yourself. Let's go deeper into what the narcissist actually does when they've emotionally checked out, when they no longer care about you, and have nothing to gain from pretending that they do. Here's the part that often shocks people most. Even when a narcissist stops caring, they don't always leave. In fact, many stay, not because they love you, not because they feel connection, but because they still benefit from the appearance of connection. To outsiders, it looks like they're still committed, still trying, still present. But behind closed doors, they're emotionally vacant. They've detached from you as a person and attached instead to the role you play. Maybe you offer stability, status, financial security. Maybe your presence still reflects well on them socially. Or perhaps you're simply too convenient to replace at the moment. Whatever the reason, they remain physically close but spiritually distant. This is one of the most insidious forms of narcissistic detachment, functional cohabitation. They may still text you, still show up to events, still go through the motions, but everything feels hollow, transactional, mechanical, and over time, you stop feeling seen. Here's what they do next. 1. They start living a double life emotionally or literally. When a narcissist has stopped caring, they often begin building a new emotional ecosystem elsewhere. Sometimes it's a new partner. Sometimes it's an online persona. Sometimes it's a hidden addiction or secret social life. Whatever it is, it's built without you. And if you stumble across it, they'll either deny it completely or accuse you of being controlling, jealous, or insecure. This projection isn't just manipulative, it's strategic. It's designed to keep you on the defensive. 2. They weaponize your emotions. Any emotional reaction you show to their detachment will be used against you. Crying becomes manipulation. Anger becomes proof that you're the problem. Sadness becomes neediness. They no longer offer comfort. Instead, they punish you for needing comfort at all. Why? Because a narcissist who doesn't care no longer wants to regulate your emotional world. They want to escape it. Your pain reminds them of their own inadequacies. Your vulnerability triggers their inner shame. So instead of connecting, they mock. Instead of comforting, they dismiss. 3. They sabotage subtly. A narcissist who no longer cares begins to sabotage your self-worth in quiet, almost invisible ways. They interrupt you more. They ignore your wins. They undermine your confidence. They give backhanded compliments. They start forgetting important things about you. All of this is meant to communicate one thing. You don't matter anymore, but they'll rarely say it outright. Instead, they want you to feel it so deeply that you start believing it's your fault. 4. They flip the narrative. This is where gaslighting becomes overt. When the narcissist doesn't care anymore, they begin to rewrite the story of the relationship in real time. They say things like, "You've been distant for a long time. I just don't feel safe with you anymore. You always make everything about you." Notice the irony? They're describing themselves, but accusing you. This is classic narcissistic reversal. Why do they do this? Because if they no longer care, they need a story to justify it. And that story must preserve their sense of superiority. So they turn your very reactions to their neglect into reasons to blame you. 5. They humiliate you privately or publicly. Indifference in a narcissist sometimes becomes cruelty. They may start making you the butt of jokes, They correct you in front of others. They roll their eyes, cut you off, speak over you. These moments feel small to outsiders, but to you, they cut deep. They are strategic jabs meant to erode your spirit. And when you bring it up, they tell you you're too sensitive. They say, you always twist things. Or worse, I was just joking. This is emotional abuse disguised as casual interaction. And the message is clear. You don't deserve respect. 6. They take credit for your pain-free moments. Here's a quieter manipulation. Even when you start to detach, start to heal, start to experience moments of peace, the narcissist may take credit for it. They'll say, see, I told you things would calm down if you stopped overreacting. You seem so much happier lately must be because I stopped arguing. I think I've really helped you grow. This kind of gaslighting is deeply disorienting. They weaponize your healing by framing it as a result of their behavior. Not your boundaries, not your work, theirs. It's a final insult, erasing your suffering and your strength in one breath. So, what does this all mean? It means that when a narcissist stops caring, their behaviors don't stop, they evolve. From engagement to dismissal, from love bombing to silent punishment, from attention to calculated apathy. And if you're still inside that dynamic, it can make you question your reality. But here's what you need to remember. You're not imagining it. You are not too sensitive. You are not overreacting. You are not difficult to love. You are waking up. You are finally seeing the difference between someone who loves you and someone who loves a reflection of themselves they saw in you. When a narcissist stops caring, it's not about you, it's about their inability to form secure, consistent, emotionally reciprocal bonds. Their detachment isn't proof of your unworthiness. It's a window into their emptiness. When a narcissist stops caring, most people feel a deep and piercing confusion. Why? Because narcissists often withdraw in a way that's intentionally ambiguous. It leaves you in limbo, half hoping, half doubting, fully emotionally exhausted. And that ambiguity is not random. It's a tactic, because so long as you're uncertain, you stay emotionally entangled. This is where people get stuck the longest, not in the love, not even in the loss, but in the lack of clarity. The narcissist no longer cares, but they won't say it outright. They won't confirm your suspicions. Instead, they leave a trail of mixed signals and emotional landmines so that you blame yourself for the disconnection. And that's exactly how the narcissist maintains control without saying a single cruel word. So let's talk about the psychological cost of that emotional ambiguity and how to take your power back when the narcissist starts showing you who they truly are. The internal narrative trap. When a narcissist attaches, it activates your most deeply held insecurities. Not because you're weak, but because you're human. We all have an inner child that wants to be chosen, validated, protected. So when someone you love suddenly stops caring, that inner child thinks, it must be me. This is not conscious. It's a deep emotional reflex. And the narcissist relies on that reflex because it causes you to fight harder, to prove yourself, to stay longer than is emotionally safe. That inner narrative starts looping. Maybe I was too sensitive. Maybe they're just stressed. If I give them more space, they'll come back. But they're not coming back in a way you need them to. Because what they gave you before wasn't love. It was manipulation dressed as intimacy. Emotional breadcrumbing. One of the cruelest things narcissists do when they don't care anymore is drop emotional crumbs just to keep you hooked. A text out of nowhere. A nostalgic memory. A random emoji. Just enough to reset the trauma bond. They don't do this because they care. They do it because they want to make sure you still care. It's a loyalty test, not a love offering. That's why detaching from a narcissist isn't just about blocking them, it's about becoming emotionally immune to their games. And that requires deep self-awareness. So here are some key psychological insights to help you break that cycle. 1. Learn to name the behavior, not explain it. When they ghost you, mock you, or emotionally ice you, don't overanalyze. Don't romanticize their coldness or call it mystery. Name it. Emotional cruelty. Dismissiveness. Withdrawal as punishment. Naming the behavior reduces its power. It anchors you in reality. Because once you stop spinning stories around their silence, You can start listening to the truth of your own body. Your anxiety isn't the problem. It's the signal. 2. Stop fighting for reciprocity that was never there. A common trauma response is to fight harder for connection once it starts to slip. But with narcissists, this just feeds imbalance. If they've stopped caring, your efforts will not rekindle intimacy. They will reinforce your role as emotional caretaker. Stop showing up where you're being neglected. Start showing up for yourself. 3. Understand that withdrawal isn't neutral, it's an attack. Narcissists often weaponize withdrawal. When they go silent, they want you to feel abandoned, confused, desperate. This is called stonewalling, and it's one of the most covert forms of emotional abuse. You are not imagining the cruelty, and you do not owe them compassion for their silence. 4. Practice internal no contact. Even if you've gone no contact excellently, many people stay psychologically enmeshed. You replay conversations. You imagine arguments. You draft unsent messages. This internal dialogue keeps you bound to someone who no longer cares. It's time to go no contact in your mind. When the mental loop begins, say, "This is me abandoning myself to focus on someone who abandoned me." Then gently return your attention to your breath, your body, your life. 5. Rebuild the relationship with yourself they tried to erase. When a narcissist stops caring, it's not the end of your story, it's the start of reclaiming your truth. Their detachment gives you the clearest signal you'll ever get. They are not capable of love in the way you hoped. And while that hurts, it also frees you. It frees you to begin again not with them, but with you. Reconnect with the parts of yourself they shamed. Your empathy, your creativity, your needs, your intuition. These were never flaws. They were never too much. They were simply inconvenient for someone who couldn't match them. Now, they become your compass. So, what do we take away from all of this? What's the ultimate truth when someone you once trusted turns emotionally cold, when the narcissist you love stops pretending to care? Here it is. Their indifference isn't a sign of strength. It's not composure. It's not confidence. It's not growth. It's emptiness. It's what's left behind when someone has spent so long avoiding real connection that they no longer remember how to give or receive it. Narcissists don't stop caring. Because you change, they stop caring when the illusion no longer serves them, when the control no longer works, when your heart, your soul, your mind begin to resist. And in those moments, they reveal who they always were, not someone who loved you, but someone who loved being worshipped by you. They withdraw not out of maturity, but out of punishment. They act indifferent not because they're healed, but because they're hiding. They rewrite history not because it's true, but because the truth exposes too much. You, on the other hand, are doing the opposite. You're facing the discomfort. You're sitting with the pain. You're asking hard questions. You're letting go of the need to fix what was never yours to carry. And that, right there, that is power. Real power doesn't look like silence or smug detachment. It looks like healing. It looks like boundaries. It looks like choosing to protect your peace over proving your point. So when a narcissist doesn't care, don't fight for their attention. Don't try to remind them of what they're losing. Don't beg them to see your worth. They won't, not because it isn't there, but because they're not capable of holding it. Their heart isn't absent, it's armored. Their mind isn't wise, it's guarded by shame. Their soul isn't free, it's haunted by the very connection they're too afraid to feel. You are not the problem. You are not too emotional. You are not weak. You are not foolish for loving. You are simply someone who finally saw the truth. And now you have a choice. You can keep reaching for someone who's no longer emotionally present. Or you can take that same reach and direct it inward to the part of you that always knew you deserved more. Because you do. You deserve reciprocal love. You deserve emotional safety. You deserve to be remembered, even in silence. To be cared for, even when you're not performing. To be loved, not used, not mirrored, not managed, but loved. So, let this be the day you stop chasing clarity from someone committed to confusion. Let this be the day you release the narrative that says their coldness is your failure. Let this be the day you come home to yourself. Because when they stop caring, that's not the end of the story. That's the beginning of yours. Thank you so much for watching. If this message resonated with you, Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content from the heart of a clinical psychologist who is dedicated to helping you heal, grow, and rise. Leave a comment below your story, maybe the light someone else needs tonight. And always remember, you're not too much. You're not too broken. You're not too late. You are becoming. And no narcissist can stop that. Stay grounded. Stay wise. Stay free.